my scalp got so itchy. It was like intolerable. I would go to the gym, my cheeks were starting to get irritated, my ears were getting irritated, and so I was like, wait. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Suli G, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. As you can see by the title of this video, we have a lot to talk about. So if you've watched my recent videos, I've shared my journey with hair loss, experiencing hair loss, taking an educated guess that it was Telogen Effluvium, and sharing like how I dealt with that and how I maintained that. I didn't talk about it for a while after that because I feel like I didn't have all the answers. So I wasn't sure what to share. People were asking me like, how are you fixing this? How are you dealing with it? Is your hair still falling out? And because my situation is, I want to say it's unique. I mean, it's the first time I've heard of someone having all these symptoms at once. I did not have all the answers, and because I didn't have all the answers, I felt like I just shouldn't say anything. But I have a little bit more answers now, and so I'm gonna share with you what I do have, and hopefully it will help some of you guys who may be experiencing some of the things that I've been experiencing. So over 2 years ago, in 2020, I started losing my hair, and I wasn't sure why. I know that the pandemic and some events that happened in 2020 took a toll on me emotionally, and so I just kind of assumed that it was telogen effluvium, which is a hair loss condition that occurs from a stressful or traumatic event. So it turns out that that was true. I went to visit a dermatologist and they were able to examine my hair, and so apparently, well, you know what? I'll share that in a separate video. Stay tuned for that. But anyways, as I've shared in my previous videos, along with experiencing hair loss, I was also experiencing a lot of irritation. Like I was experiencing like itchiness in my ears whenever I would wash my hair, or just itchiness in my scalp. I would have a specifically tender area right over here, which would feel really tender, and the hair was thinning out a lot. And then the temples, the sides of my hair were starting to also thin out, and apart from thinning out, they were irritating me. So whenever I would put my hair in a bun or in a ponytail, this part would just be so tender and so sensitive that it was just like, I've never experienced anything like that before. What started happening was I went to the trichologist, and that was going really well. They were giving me like scalp detoxes. They were shampooing and cleansing my scalp, and that was kind of relieving the symptoms. I stopped going to the trichologist honestly because I was traveling back and forth, and in the midst of traveling, I just didn't keep up with my appointments, and I also didn't follow up, so I stopped. But then my hair loss and irritation started picking back up, specifically when I started retouching my hair color. So I noticed that every time I would retouch my color, my scalp would start itching. And I didn't really associate the two because I've been coloring my hair for years. So I really didn't think anything of the fact that like this hair dye is associated with everything that you're going through, because I've been coloring my hair for, I want to say, over 5 years now, and I didn't think anything of it. But the last time that I colored my hair, my scalp got so itchy. It was like intolerable. I would go to the gym, and mind you, I didn't do like a whole hair dye. Like if you can see these little red pieces here, I literally just touched up that area right there. That is all I did. I touched that up, and then I let it sit. And when I went to the gym, I was working out and I was on the Stairmaster, and I was sweating. And because the sweat was like going down on my face, my cheeks were starting to get irritated. My ears were getting irritated. And so I was like, wait, this has to be connected, because I literally just finished retouching my color. So I went to a dermatologist, and I'm gonna break this down into different parts because I got like I got a bit of feedback from him and a few different diagnoses. I got multiple things from the dermatologist, okay? And so one of them was seborrheic dermatitis. And it's actually here on this paper. So he gave me this paper, and the two things that he diagnosed me with were, one, telogen effluvium, which is what I thought, which is what I shared with you on my channel over a year ago. And the second one was seborrheic dermatitis. So if you didn't know, seborrheic dermatitis is a skin condition that basically causes irritation, rashing, flaky scalp, all of that. And it's basically caused by an overgrowth of yeast, among with a few other things. Here's the plot twist. I was looking it up, and it's possible that I have developed an allergy to PPD, which is a chemical that's found in hair dye. So basically, my skin and my body is giving off an allergic reaction to hair dye. And the way that that works is, one, it can develop over time, and two, the symptoms can become more severe. So it's possible that as I was dyeing my hair in the beginning, I wasn't getting any side effects, but as I continued dyeing my hair, the reactions or the symptoms progressively got worse. Now, unfortunately, the dermatologist that I went to visit does not do allergy tests, so he was going to recommend me to an allergist, which I haven't gotten to just yet, but he said we can basically rule that out because my body is showing all the symptoms that I am getting an allergic reaction to hair dye. So I'm gonna break that up in the next video as far as like, what does that mean for dyeing my hair and for dyeing curly hair, and is it still safe and all that stuff. Specifically for this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about seborrheic dermatitis, what that looks like, and how I've been dealing with it. So prior to this whole incident, I never experienced any of this. Like, I never had issues with my scalp, no itching, none of that stuff. And it really seems that whatever happened with like my reaction to hair dye really brought on all this other stuff. And I think that it's contributing to the hair shedding I've been experiencing as well. Some of the symptoms that I've been experiencing are itchiness on my scalp, redness on my scalp, tenderness and sensitivity around my temples, and all of that would be amplified whenever I dyed my hair. So the dermatologist gave me a few things to put on my scalp, and to be honest with you, I didn't do all of them because he gave me a long list of things and it just didn't feel realistic to do, especially as a natural hair person or like a curly hair person, because half of this stuff included doing this every single day. So like applying creams every day. So one of the medications that the dermatologist prescribed me was a diproline lotion by the name of betamethasone dipropionate. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it looks like this. And I was basically supposed to apply that once during the daytime and once at nighttime. I'm telling you, like after 2 days, I started to feel the difference in my scalp. What was tender, what was itchy, really started to go down and go away. But what I can say is afterward, I was experiencing a lot of flakiness, and I'm not sure if that's from the lotion itself drying or my scalp just healing and flaking, but I did experience flakiness. However, all of that tenderness that I had like towards the front of my scalp and over here went away. And I'm telling you, this is after months on months on months of just feeling like that was something that I was gonna have to deal with. Like literally even brushing my hair in a ponytail or in a bun would hurt because the bristles, I would feel them on my scalp and it would bother me. So this helped so much. If you've used this before, comment below and let me know if this was helpful to you. And I can tell you that this was safe for my hair. Like it didn't break my hair. It didn't give any negative reactions to my hair. And again, I was just putting this on my scalp and then rubbing it in. It says that it's a lotion, but it's in gel-like form. So it's clear and it's pretty liquidy and you just rub it into your scalp. One side effect that I feel like I did experience, and it's kind of weird, so I don't know if it's for my body or if a lot of people experience this, was I felt like my body would tense up a lot whenever I put it on. And I'm not sure if it's because I think this is a steroid. If I'm not mistaken, it's a steroid. Always look up your medications and stuff before applying them just to be sure. But because I think it is a steroid, I feel like it would make like my jaw really tense or just like my head very tense. So I would have to be very mindful of that. But other than that, I love this thing. I finished it. You're only supposed to use it for like 2 weeks straight. At least that's what it was prescribed to me for. And I finished the bottle within the 2-week frame. And that helped me so much. So now it's really just seeing like what my hair looks like after using this, whether it's still gonna be falling out, whether my scalp is gonna be shedding as much hair or not. I can tell you for a fact that the hair that was like shedding and coming out from my allergic reaction to the hair dye is growing back, because I noticed the difference. It's growing back, and even my scalp, like this area of my scalp is growing a lot more hair, whereas before it was a lot thinner. I'll try and put some pictures here if I can find them, but it was a lot thinner and it wasn't filled with as much hair. So I'm really, really grateful for that, because that healed my scalp. When I tell you it healed my scalp, and I was only experiencing those symptoms in like this part of my scalp. So like literally over here in my temple area and right here. I didn't experience anything in the back. I had a little sensitivity like towards the lower area of my scalp near my neck, but nothing like in this area. And my hair, I haven't been really losing much hair in like this area. Most of my density is in this area. It's just the front and then like towards the back where I'm experiencing hair shedding and thinning. So yeah, that lotion, I don't know that it's over the counter. I think it has to be prescribed, but if you're experiencing irritation, if you're experiencing like itchiness or just like pain on your temples and on your scalp, and you think that you may have seborrheic dermatitis, I would ask your doctor about this lotion because I found it to be so helpful, like extremely helpful, and it worked almost immediately. So yes, I hope that that was informative. I hope that it gave you some insight or made you feel like you're not alone in this, because I know when I was going through my symptoms of like hair shedding, irritation, I was looking everything up and I just wanted to know what was going on and if anyone else was ever going through the same thing that I was going through. It gets better. I'm letting you know that it gets better. It's a frustrating journey, especially when you don't have the answers or you feel like you need a solid answer and you don't have one. And it's frustrating just to like deal with an irritated scalp, deal with your hair shedding and falling out. But I think the more proactive you are about seeking answers, going to the doctor, being gentle and sensitive with your hair, the easier and the better it will get. I am still experiencing hair shedding. I am still experiencing hair loss, but I know that my condition is a lot better than it was before. And so for that, I'm grateful. And for me, I look at that as one step closer to my healing journey with my hair and my scalp. So stay tuned for the next videos. I'm going to be talking about Telogen effluvium and how I know that I have Telogen effluvium or had. And I'm also going to be talking about coloring my hair and whether I'll ever go back to dyeing my hair red again now that I've experienced all of this stuff. So make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you like this video. And if you have any questions or any commentary, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.